Hey guys, welcome back to Alex Roberts Fishing. So, we're starting a new series here on the channel called Back of the Boat Basics, in which I'm going to talk all about being a co-angler. So, we're right at the beginning of tournament season. I've got my first tournament here just in a few days. So, I've been spending the last few months really preparing for this year ever since I got done with last year's regional and Bass Nation Championship. I've been doing prep for this season. So, if you're like me, it's crunch time. It's time to go. It's time to get all my ducks in a row and get ready for the season. So, I'm going to break this video series into a couple of videos. I believe the first one, I haven't fleshed all these out completely, but the first one's going to be really about information. So this is, preparing the month of, the week of, the night before, the informational side of things, whether that's knowing the lake or talking to your boater or how to sign up, things like that. So that's going to be this video. And then we'll go into the gear, we'll go into etiquette, we'll go into all sorts of other stuff in a different video. So like I said, this is going to be an informational video on how to be a co-angler. These are some of the things that I get questions about sometimes. It's, what time do I meet the guy? How do I make this happen? As far as signing up for the tournaments, there are other videos on that. It's really easy nowadays, go on websites of the various trails, and they're pretty easy to navigate. So once you get past that, that's really the purpose of this video. All right, so before I get into it, my number one single most important thing for your day, and I'm sitting here reading off here. I wrote out a bunch of stuff, just my thoughts, and I'm just gonna be reading them off to you guys. So the single most important thing for your day of fishing to me is your relationship with your boater. So it starts out with honesty. Be honest about your confidence and backing, and remember that they're also a paying participant. So, they're also here to compete just as much as you are. And that goes the opposite way as well. Remember, it's a huge privilege to be able to be on the water. There are plenty of people who would absolutely love to be in your position, to be able to be out on a boat, let alone competing in the way that we are. The month of the tournament, the month before rather, I'll sit down and go through my calendar and map out all the tournaments I'm doing, map out the travel, and actually look at that on a grand scale. So I know, hey, this is how much time I'm driving. I may have to spend this amount on gas, hotels, lodging, all that stuff. I'm sitting here editing this video and I wanted to hit pause real quick. If you guys want to know more about this spreadsheet right here, I contemplated doing a video about the true costs of my last tournament season, but I just haven't done it yet. So if you guys are interested in this, just let me know and I can go ahead and do that video. I sit there and drop all of the dates and all my travel plans in my calendar and then sit back and look at it, kind of try to soak in everything I'm planning to do, just to try to absorb that, to try to realize that, hey, if I'm jumping from tournament to tournament, how quick does my turnaround need to be? Do I need to do advanced map study? Do I need to look at the drive? Do I need to figure out where the gas stations are? I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do, and everyone's different in this, but I like to look a month out from the tournaments. All right, so now I'm going to break this down a little bit further into more time increments. So the week of, I'm doing map study, and of course the weeks leading up as well, I'm doing map study. So this is not necessarily what spots I think I would fish, although that's a good thing to do. You're not necessarily making the decisions on tournament day. So when I say map study, what I mean is to familiarize yourself with the lake. You got to know the major creeks. You got to know which way the current flows, if there is current. And general knowledge about the area is good. One other thing I would say, look at the ramp on Google Earth. Just look at it. Nothing is worse than showing up in the morning and having no idea where to park or making others wait in line because you didn't plan ahead. So look for easy parking and try to look at where the boat lanes are so you aren't panicking the morning of the tournament. I'll also usually, if I get down there early enough, I'll drive to the ramp and just drive around, observe these same things, where the boat's going to go, if the parking is tricky. You just want to see all these things with the light of day because, when you get there early in the morning, the last thing you want to be thinking about is where am I going? All right, of course, during the week, you're rigging rods, picking out plastics, doubling checking all your gear, getting all that ready. We're going to go over the gear stuff more in a different video, but that's definitely part of the weekly prep, is just making sure all that stuff is in good shape and ready, obviously. All right, so now we've gone through the week. This is in more of a draw format, but the night before you'll get, the text with your draw. So immediately, everybody does this differently, but for me, immediately I'll text that person, say, hey, my name's Alex, looks like we're fishing together tomorrow. give me a call whenever you get a chance or whenever you're free. That immediately opens up the dialogue, being respectful, being open to information. It's just a really good way to start the evening. So when they do give you that call or you guys text, however you work it out, these are the things that you need to know before that phone call or text conversation is over. Number one, what time are you meeting? Number two, where are you meeting? Are you meeting at the ramp, at a gas station? Where at the ramp? Some of these things you'll figure out morning of, but you need to know at least where to start, right? So we've got what time to meet, where, what his boat and truck looks like. This may seem silly, but if you get there and there are, a bunch of boats and trucks driving around like there usually are the morning of a tournament, it's good to know which one is his so you can go ahead and jump in if you're already, out of the vehicle and ready. The last thing, you can talk about fishing. This has changed for me in the past, few years fishing. So it used to be like, what do I need to, what are we throwing? What are we doing? It's turned into more of a, are we fishing shallow or deep most of the day sort of question, because I have things that I like to be doing, and there are certain seasonal things that I like to be doing, during different parts of the year. So, I will usually ask if it's deep or shallow, and then if there's anything specific that I might not usually have that I should bring. A really specific bait. If he's on something really specific, I do want to have that, of course. But in general, I'm not asking the guy what we're throwing because I have things that I like to do and I want to be different than him most of the time. So packing, this is getting more into the gear a little bit, but it goes into the night before sort of thing. To me, I lay out everything in my vehicle so I can grab it and go quickly in the morning. I don't want to be putting on rod socks or rigging baits in the morning or whatever, messing around when my boater pulls up and I'm trying to scramble to get everything ready. I want to be able to get my backpack, get my other whatever else I'm bringing, whether that's dry bag or plastics or whatever it is. I want to be able to get my stuff, get my rods, and go very quickly. You, the co-angler, you as a person, never want to be the reason that traffic slows or your boater has to wait extra time while everybody else is putting in. I take a lot of stuff. You guys will see in the gear video, my backpack and all my stuff, it's full. I have everything I need for the day, but it's meticulously organized and packed in a way that most of the guys I jump in the boat with are like, oh, you're already done. Okay, cool, let's go. And that's how you want to start. That's how you want to start the day. All right, tournament morning. Here we go. It's time, right? This is what we spend all off season thinking about, at least for me, is like that tournament morning, man. It's so exciting. But one of the things that I'm always focused on is I don't want to be worrying about any part of my gear, or if I've done all this preparation I've been talking about in this video, this tournament morning should go smoothly. So get there earlier than your boater, with plenty of time to settle down, to get all your gear ready to grab and go. I usually will get there 20-30 minutes before the boater told me to be there, just so if there is a parking situation, if I find something else different in the morning that I want to do, we can do that. Communicate with your boater, be ready to adjust based on how his morning is going to. Sometimes people run late, sometimes they run early. You just never know. So, a good text in the morning like, hey, on my way, or I'm here, get here whenever you can. You don't want to rush anybody, but it's good to be there early and just be ready. As soon as that guy pulls up, get your stuff in there and go. All right, so to kind of recap the video here, I know there's been a lot of information coming at you guys, but this is how I prepare the information side of the tournament. We'll go over the gear stuff a little bit in a different video, but months out, I'm doing map study, I'm doing travel planning, I'm talking to my buddies about if they've been to that lake before, been to that ramp before. Getting that kind of information is good. The week of, I'm doing not intense map study, but I need to generally know the layout of the lake. Which way does the current flow, the highlights, stuff like that, major creeks. It's just good to be able to navigate mentally on the lake before you get there. Getting your gear ready. Obviously, we'll go over that more in another video. But communicating with the boater really well, really efficiently, that starts the whole process off really nicely. Them being respectful of you, you being respectful of them. This is when it starts, is the draw. So we went over that. We went over how I pack my vehicle. When I get there in the morning, the last thing I want to be doing is tying on baits and freaking out and taking longer and holding the line up. I just want to be able to grab my stuff and go. If I need to make adjustments, I would normally try to do those on the boat. And then tournament morning, getting there early, communicating. These are all things that are really important. Being honest about backing. It's something that's taken me some time to get comfortable with. These guys driving really nice trucks with really nice boats, you don't want to screw them up. Believe me, that is the worst way to start your day. So be honest about how you feel about backing up. If you don't feel comfortable, I've never heard of a guy getting upset or anything going wrong there. So just be really honest about your confidence level and start the day off right. Hey, if I missed anything on this video, chime in, let me know. But I just wanted to hop on real quick and give you guys kind of an informational overview of starting out as a co-angler as the season begins. So, hey, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.